All right, friends, take a big deep breath in. And then let a big long exhale out, lengthening that spine, tucking your chin into your chest, squeezing your belly button into that spine, and letting all that breath out. I think we should do that 2 more times. Big breath in. Filling the belly up with air, sitting tall, extending, tucking the chin in, and then exhaling, pushing the breath down every single vertebrae as you squeeze the belly button to the spine. And again, breathe in. Exhale and breathe it out. Okay. Today, what is on my mind is acceptance. And part of acceptance is breathing. You just have to learn to breathe through the baloney. Like, seriously. I mean, you're like baloney. You are. You're suffocated with mayonnaise and between 2 slices of bread and probably a hunk of Kraft Singles. Oh my gosh. In my adult life, I cannot eat bologna. We had so many bologna sandwiches for lunch as a kid. No can do. And I have this funny spot on my head. Apologize for that. I apologize for my lighting. I've been watching all these creator things and stuff. So anyway, but to be like water, accept things. So before I get any further, I'm Sheena Collins. I am a storyteller and a share of my experience. I am a breast cancer thriver. I have hormonal positive with the HER2 protein breast cancer. I'm currently in a state of NED. I am on endocrine therapy, tamoxifen. I do not have the BRCA gene. I was diagnosed in October of 2020. It has been 3 years since my diagnosis. And here I am. And boy, has a lot changed going back. And, excuse me. And this is where I want to talk about acceptance. I have had a hard time with acceptance lately. Acceptance of my situation, acceptance of who I am right now, acceptance of my position. I've had to gain acceptance that I need help, that I have to ask for help. It was not until, I reached out through crowdfunding, and this is the Sheena Strong mission. So I started crowdfunding to assist with my cancer journey, as many people do when we have medical needs. We can, that's the beauty of having a, social media and an online community is, we can really reach out and reach others, and we have more opportunities to help one another, because I believe truly that we all like to do that. But I started crowdfunding, and I call it Sheena Strong. So that was as I shared my experiences of going through the journey of surgical procedures, bilateral mastectomy, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, endocrine therapy, continued surgeries, reconstruction. So I have shared all of this, and oh my gosh, and now I'm reconstructing again, and just in a different way. So I'm trying to I'm trying to reconstruct financial stability. And it is so hard. And it keeps piling up and piling up and piling up and piling up. And oh my gosh, those people that did that documentary on whether they could live on minimum wage. Oh, this has been a bad documentary of how you cannot live below the poverty line without the help of others. Oh. And the fact that I've had to accept this. And, I'm also really kicking myself in the ass that I didn't reach out to some people I'm very close with sooner. I don't know why I didn't ask for help sooner. It would have been more helpful than the way this has all gone down. But my pride got in the way. My ego got in the way. Even discussing about the disability and things like that, that's hard for me. But I need to talk about this, because we have all these ideas when we vote, and when we think about legislation, and when we think about politics and social issues and social justice. But in my mind, there's no reason that anybody in America should go hungry, be homeless. I mean, there just isn't. I don't see that. And it's also difficult to see how easily we discard people and other people over frivolous things. That's not worth it. Being diagnosed with cancer has given me the opportunity to and the drive to make some amends with some folks. And boy, carrying that anger and hurt is like, it's just, bad. So, well, anyway, acceptance. I just have to. It's like that Zen principle of water. Water flows over a stone, over a stone, over a stone. Heck, water carves canyons, right? Think of the Grand Canyon. The Colorado River carved that out of all that big thick rock. And we have to be like that water and keep going. And as I look back over how I've documented my journey in the last 3 years, where I've come from and where I am now are huge improvements. And all of that required a lot of physical care. And all of now also requires a lot of physical care. And I don't know why it's a big mystery, because I had that major surgery in 2015, which required months and months and months of recovery and rehabilitation and years of healing and learning how to manage chronic pain. So I know how to function with those things. I guess I just think I'm Superwoman. I should be able to surpass that. And then I become frustrated, and then that leads to mental anguish and me not feeling good about myself on top of already not, and I have to stop it. It's not doing me any good. I'm not envisioning the life that I believe I'm capable of. I'm not envisioning, all of the beauty and glory that God could bestow upon me of a fulfilling life. So I have to keep thinking about what it is that I am working for. The last few years, it was working for survival of my life. And now it's still working for survival of my life, but in a different way. Because this is just so hard. It's beyond completely comprehensible to me. But I go through it every day. Put my big girl panties on, But I need to just keep accepting. I tend to get angry and react, and I have to stop that. It does not serve my health well. I know this is a long process at this point. There is not any false ideation about what this journey is going to be. I have met with the physical therapist. Right? I am doing the work right now. And I'm doing the work on regaining my energy and beating the fatigue. And it all takes so much freaking time, you guys. And I'm not the same person I once was. And I hate it. But I have to accept it. I have to accept. It's no good being angry about it anymore. So, anyway, my day totally didn't go as planned today. And it's not continuing to go as planned. But I'm going with the flow, getting a lot done. I'm not being frustrated by the volume of calls that are related to my healthcare right now. So I'm getting plans in place for my continued oncology care so that I feel comfortable with it, so that I know what to expect, so that my doctors know me as a patient and what makes me tick best. I'm very engaged in my healthcare, and that is such a difficult process. If anybody has questions about that, you can let me know, and I'll let you know how I handled it, or how I should have handled it, not how I did, So I have definitely learned from my mistakes. And learning from my mistakes is also learning that maybe I just need to skip the angry part and the feeling things are unfair part and just go right to the acceptance part, because it is what it is, and that's just the way it is, and we just keep moving forward. So the lighting just changed. The sun went under a cloud. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like to the day, I believe, I have to look. I believe we are on the exact anniversary of when I was diagnosed. Isn't that something? And I'm accepting that, and I'm accepting where I'm at. And I have reached out for a lot of extra help from others, like peer-to-peer help that I really, really needed, and medical care team help that I really, really needed. And I've been open about my journey. I'm sharing it with you because you may be going through this too, or know somebody that is, or you're a caretaker of somebody that is. And sometimes just unpacking these feelings, I guess, and putting them all out there is helpful. I'm not giving you advice. I'm not any of that. I'm just sharing with you what's going on with me and how I'm dealing with this. And we're going to watch whether or not this works in life. But I believe it will. I'm confident. I know this. I've worked in healing. I used to teach yoga. I used to teach mindfulness. I know the persistence pays off. I know that which you work most for and devote your time to comes to fruition. It just takes time. Okay? So why should this be any freaking different? Other than I just feel that, to completely change my situation, 2 weeks on a beach in Florida and money, stability, right? But what are the steps to get there? And I am jumping through and experiencing the hoops of the system, and it's giving me a greater understanding of how it works, and it's giving me a greater understanding of society. And I'm hoping I can use my experience to help others and on different levels. So we'll see. Be careful what you wish for. I sit here and I want to be a public speaker. I want to talk about things. I want to do it lightheartedly, and my humor may not always be appreciated, or the couple of expletives that I toss in there, but that I come with that warning label, okay? I am slightly twisted, y'all. Can't get this far through all this bullshit without being a little twisted, I figure. But anyway, I don't claim to be the expert, and I'm not giving you advice on how to live or anything. I'm just sharing my experience with you so that you can learn and you can laugh, hopefully be inspired that if I can fumble through this stuff, maybe you can too, and I know a lot of other people that do. And, and I have to quit fighting the fact that I've needed this help. And I have to accept that I do, because I believe in this type of community, this part of how society should function. I believe in peace. And speaking today is a National Day of Prayer for peace in the Holy Land, and prayer and fasting. So that got me to that mindfulness, because today has been full of a lot of thinking about prayer, listening to relevant radio, looking at my situation. My day completely changed today. I had something planned this afternoon, and but it worked out great. My phone rang all day with doctors and scheduling, and so I was able to attend to that and not have the stress of that piled up. So going with the flow, man, right? Yeah, that's right. And that's helped, and just accepting that that's the way it is. And then I'm filling out the paperwork for the attorneys for the disability insurance, and that's a slow process too. And it's frustrating, and I have to go back and look, and boy, I'm sure glad there's my chart these days. It makes life so much easier. I mean, the actual paper copies of your medical record, those are full effect. I will bust those out for you one day. And those do not include, those are up through April of last year. And it's 10 reams and 2 discs of imaging. So, going back to things, I had to accept the chronic pain. I had to accept the rebuilding from there. It's just that my situation was different at the time. It was way different than it was this time with going through cancer. The way my support system was structured was completely different from how my support structure is designed right now. And I think that's support is critical to a cancer journey. I know that is hard for a lot of people, but I have had great support, and I absolutely would not be able to have done this without those that have helped me meet my personal living expenses. And like, there is no way. And with doing the did I already mention the work program that I've been working with since November of 2022? There is no way that I can let my entrepreneurial adventures like fly to the wayside, because it's been since November of 2022 that I have been seeking full-time employment in my field, so that I could, something remote, ideally, it needs to be, so that I could bounce ahead from this cancer journey and, keep the store open, hire somebody to be in there. And now it ends up, I'm working on hiring somebody anyway. I've done my time. I've had to accept. I cannot do it on my own. I've had to accept what once took me 3 weeks, now it takes me over 3 months, and make some decisions. So that meant a big sale at the store to unload some stuff, changing the store to some cool things. And that also meant getting some help in, because this process with the disability insurance can take 6 months to another year. And I mean, people have been gracious. People are helping me out to meet, as I mentioned, to make sure that I'm meeting living expenses. People are giving to the crowdfunding. Thank you so much. I mean, none of us imagined that we would be at this position nearly 3 years after the diagnosis. And I surely never expected to have had to have reached out for the help I needed in May. May of 2023 was absolute rock bottom for me in my experience in my cancer journey. And it was my second rock bottom. I've had two really severe, I would say 3 really severe rock bottoms during my cancer journey that were very, very difficult, where I felt hopeless, completely hopeless, and like I couldn't go on. And now sometimes acceptance of those feelings is part of this process. I understand I'm going to feel that way, but I'll get through it. You will too if that happens to you. And it's okay not to be okay. I have learned that I've had to cry to let it out, not stuff my feelings in a sack, to have that release, and sometimes just sit and be with the experience. Accept it. A good friend of mine reminds me that all the time. And the funny thing is, I used to teach yoga. I used to teach mindfulness. I know this stuff, but I'm having trouble practicing it and doing it. And I need reminders from people around me that support me on this path and journey. Do you believe all this crap? And oh my gosh, I've been talking for almost 20 minutes. But that lately, my friends, is acceptance. I have to accept that I need substantial amounts of self-care and doing things. I can't just let my body fall apart. I have a life left to live. I know I have to work too, but in order for me to do it all, and I have animals to take care of, I have things I want to do. Like, I so want to do this. I want to have all the energy back that I used to, and have fun and redecorate a whole store in a day. That stuff used to happen. No, it doesn't. I hate it. I'm bound by limitations. I have to accept those and keep spending the time it takes, instead of just getting frustrated and tossing my hands up, and keep working, because I have needed the help. And that's what programs are for, and social resources, is to help people that are in situations like me, right? Oh, fasting. I'm really, really hungry. No, like all I can do when I'm fasting is think like I want to eat. And then the importance of fasting is to focus on what we're praying for. And you can say a prayer every time you think of hunger. You can think of how great of pain Jesus was suffering on the cross when you feel the pain of hunger. Don't eat a Snickers bar because that's breaking your fast. But fasting helps enhance our connection and our spirits. And listen to me, I'm all zen and stuff today. Life has been so practical and so survival mode for so long and so eye-opening. And it was so much easier to share the skills of living a well life, of connecting the mind, body, and spirit before I had some serious things happen and some serious issues in my life where I really needed to learn how to embody the mind, body, and spirit, and where I pulled away from it. And this has all been a unique experience. But acceptance. I'm just learning to accept lately. And I take a breath in. I remind myself I'm learning a certain amount of grace. I'm learning how to let go of anger and to try not to be angered in the first place. You know, look at things like an observer, and just take it in chunks. And instead of every little, I don't know, it's like a Jenga game. You know, the higher the game gets, the more it wobbles. And the more you pile on, the more it wobbles. And, you know, and to build higher and higher and higher, you have to keep pulling from the foundation. So, and that's what I feel like, a wobbly Jenga game. Blah. Well, I have not yacked at y'all in a while, and I'm going to try to keep this like to 33 minutes. Like 33 seems to be my magical angel number lately. So maybe I'll do 33. So, I mean, I'm constantly noticing the clock when it hits 33. But I need to get back to practicing my meditation. I need to accept things. I've had some good therapy lately, some good chats, some good discussions towards my health. And I need to roll with that. And I also just need to accept where I'm at and work really hard to continue to keep going. And if that means that I have to continue to ask for help, you know, I will. And, you know, I have to just get over it. I'm asking for help. I'm trying to put some product out there too, you know. And I'd like to do some public speaking. So, you know, I really do. Maybe I need to get all dressed up and fancy and put on like a public speaking program, like what I would talk about as an example. But, you know, right now it's just still in survival mode, and I'm accepting that, and I'm sharing with you all of this stuff. So we'll keep moving, all right? We're all going to keep moving ahead. It is what it is. We accept it. We're going to be like water. We're going to let it flow. We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. And now I'm down to the last of the few seconds, so I'm going to let you go. Peace and love, my friends.